Their decks you can see on screen. It's going to be Orcust Superheavy Samurai versus Vanquish Soul.
This is not a matchup I was expecting to see this weekend. Vanquish Soul, I felt like maybe have gotten a bit left behind after the fire decks started to take over. But Orcust Superheavy, on the other hand, we've seen showing up at regionals from time to time since they got all of their Harp Horrors back.
I feel like this is more of what these players can do with their decks more than being about the decks themselves.
All right, it looks like we've got Heavy Borger in there, Stake Your Soul,
And
Called by the Grave, Riseheart.
Stake Your Soul has been added to hand. I mean, it's one of the best cards, of course, for the deck.
And since we do see Stake Your Soul here, I would also like to point everybody over to our socials where you can take a look at the gorgeous participation map for the WCQ this year featuring the Vanquish Soul monsters.
It looks really cool.
The ones on Stake Your Soul.
I mean, the design looks like one of those fighting game UIs.
Character select screens.
Yeah, character select screens, that's right.
I was a little surprised by how many people didn't know that the question mark is for random.
Yes, people might anticipate that, oh, maybe there's another monster coming out. Or it's a secret monster.
We saw a lot of that.
Yeah.
No, it's random.
It's random.
It's random select.
Or maybe, you know how some of these games, you input a secret code in there and you get a special monster. I don't know. Okay, now moving back into the game, we have gotten to the summon of Dr. Madlove, and we are now into Ryzen. Ryzen is going to be able to add a monster. That's going to be his favorite card, Jiaolong.
Jiaolong, really huge for this deck.
Just
both the effects are good, and it's a fire monster, which is something you always needed more of.
Yeah, especially when Ryzen is one of the key starters of the entire deck. Jiaolong has been summoned onto the field. You'll reveal 2 fire monsters that can be able to search for any of the Vanquish Soul cards into your hand.
All right, that gets Caesar Valius. So we see the Razin, we see Ash Blossom, Caesar Valius is there, and if he's got a dark monster, which he will shortly.
That's got to be the Dr. Madlove. That might cycle back into the hand, perhaps? Or the Heavy Borger cycle back into hand.
So Borger goes back to hand.
Oh, I caught a glimpse of that trap card.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is what you think it is. Dr. Madlove returns to hand as well at the end phase because of Stake Your Soul.
We're going to activate with Wanted.
So we got some deep Bellstar cards in here as well. I assume that's to get Jet Synchron.
Yes. And luckily, this is the one spell card that can banish itself out of the graveyard, so it won't lock you out of your Super Heavy Samurai plays. If you guys don't know, Super Heavy Samurai cards typically require you to have no spell or trap cards in the graveyard to play.
Pitching Clockwork Knight.
Clockwork Knight.
All
wow.
Right. This is significantly different than the deck lists that I've seen coming out of our regionals, so we got to see how this goes.
Will that Clockwork Knight eventually just wipe the entire field? Because it does turn everything into a machine.
It does.
Sure. So it's going to be original.
Sand Steel Bellstar.
I mean, as Steven, we see a Clockwork Knight. You're going to be thrown off by this because you saw that Wanted. Okay, we're going to Jet Synchron, as you predicted. Okay.
Yeah, just because there are no Barons anymore doesn't mean getting Jet Synchron off of a spell card that's highly searchable isn't good anymore.
I mean,
it's still quite good.
It's still really, really strong.
Activate the effect of Wanted.
And activating the effect of Wanted. That's going to put back the original. That's removing both spells. Now, we still have one more spell, which is going to be the Clockwork Knight.
Clockwork Knight is the challenging one to get rid of.
Way to go.
I mean, putting spell cards into the graveyard, that's a very risky move if you want to get that started.
The effect of Clockwork Knight
But now it's gone.
There it is. He's got the...
Pitching Armageddon Knight.
Going to discard the Armageddon Knight for that. We'll get yourself a nice little search.
There we go.
For an Earth Machine.
Now we're good.
All right, the graveyard has been cleaned up. And good luck playing through this. It's going to be, there can be only one.
Well, if he's got removal, that's maybe not a spell. That's the issue, right? Like, you want to play your Cosmic Cyclone or whatever to get rid of that. But then that's a spell that has no way to get it out of the graveyard.
mean, there is a certain card you can try, perhaps, but I don't think this is the hand to do it. This is going to be a very, very rough position to kind of come out of. The whole deck is mainly just machines. I mean, it's Orcust, machines, super heavy, machines. If you only play one of your machines, what can you go into?
Well, Deed Bellstar is already used. She's a spellcaster. And Armageddon Knight was Warrior.
And sometimes for those continuous trap cards that kind of lock you into a specific type, attribute, those particular cards, you can keep them in going second. Because if your opponent's end field can still have it.
Then Santoli's got Dimension Shifter.
Well, Steven woke up today and chose to
he's feeling
not let
dangerous.
the opponent. Yeah, exactly.
He's feeling very dangerous today.
Standby. Main.
Well,
Kaushi.
looking
All
at
right, well, Alexander's got the Wakaushi.
Special.
that's going to special summon out the Wakaushi. That's going to reset up a scale. That's going to be the big Monk Benkei.
Big monk. Monk pack.
Yep. Monk is going to be able to add a card into hand. I mean, this deck is known to add cards into hand. And it's going to be safe from that Drone Lockbird while we're under that shifter. That is going to be the Soul Gaia booster. And knowing that this is an Orcust deck, you want that graveyard. So you basically don't have access to any of your Orcust cards.
The booster is special summoned.
The cards being banished out of Orcust isn't too bad either. Because most of the Galatea, most of the stuff from the extra deck, they want to put the banished cards back.
They will be banished.
Oh, no, sorry,
Both of those will be banished because of Dimension Shift.
Is that okay? You're still good.
Is choosing to sync or summon?
Unfortunately, play loss.
Is
Say
the-
it ain't like
Yeah, so that's tough. So effects like Dimension Shifter override the regular game rules that say that things go to the graveyard, or in the case of Pendulum monsters, that they go to the top of the extra deck.
But hold on, we are going to see some Orcust play here. That's going to be Orcust Harpora and the Omega. The Psyframe Lord Omega, that's going to go into Galatea. Galatea, like I said, even though it's banished, it's going to put it back, and we're going to reset up additional cards back onto the field. You're going to be able to set one of your Orcust spell or trap card. I believe it's going to be Crescendo. Crescendo is the counter trap. If you control, I believe, an Orcust, I believe it's an Orcust Link monster, you're going to be able to negate more or less anything. Monster effects, spells, and traps.
It's been a while since I've actually seen Crescendo resolved. Also got a graveyard effect.
Yeah, search a machine, but I don't think that's going to come into play at this current moment while the shifter is still live.
No. Nope. All right, so Santoli is up, facing down one Galatea and a Crescendo.
That's not too.
As long as it's point to yeah.
Well, the timing of a counter trap does make a huge difference.
Oh,
We're
he's
gonna-
got Fenrir. Ooh.
What a powerful card to come down. We're going to attack. We're going to use the. Are we using the effective ban, or is it just going to attack over? I think it's just attacking over since it's not
Yeah.
face down.
Still face up.
That turns off the Crescendo.
Now we'll see what he's got in main phase 2.
Yes.
He does have a Pot of Prosperity. No, it's not Pot of Prosperity. I think that's a Stake Your Soul.
It is Stake Your Soul.
Revealing a dark.
Reveal the Phantasme.
Okay. Special summoning out the Dr. Madlove,
Madlove.
adding the trap card.
And that is Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. This is one that gains effects based on how many of the attributes you reveal from your hand.
Lots of damage
all
going
things
through.
considered, you can make yourself protected, summon something, blow everything up, deal a bunch of damage all at once.
I mean, it is a very, very powerful trap card. Now, Steven's also under Dimension Shifter, so he's got to be careful what he chooses to link off, if he even chooses to link anything up, because there's not going to be any graveyard effect to re-add. And we're going to see the summon of Ryzen. Ryzen going to add the Caesar Valius into hand.
Yep.
Effect Raisin.
Protect, Jiaolong effect, summon itself out, because you just, unlike most of the other particular Vanquish Soul monsters, Xiaolong needs another effect to have revealed to summon itself out rather than just jump out in itself.
And you can see Fenrir in this case is getting Rise Heart, which adds a fire monster to the hand to use for the other effects.
So we got an Earth, we have a Fire, and we know we have Phantasme. We have all 3 attributes required.
Yes, and the Mad Love will return to hand as well, assuming it's not used for something. All right, so Caesar Valius on the field. Xiaolong effect reveals 2 fires now that Razin is in the hand. Gets yet another search.
Search for anything. There's another Caesar.
It's another Caesar Valius, and that's the Earth monster.
This is a very scary field to stare down. Especially with no cards on the field, most of your setup that would have went into, a follow-up is basically completely nullified through the Dimension Shifter.
If he goes ahead and sacrifices the Mad Love to the Banish pile to make Rocket the Vanquisher, and it looks like he's got the ultimate one as well, which is pretty sweet.
Gonna reveal 3 for the Caesar. That's gonna be able to destroy that card, non-targeting.
And he takes out the Crescendo.
Now, because it's banished, you're not gonna be able to banish it from the graveyard to add a machine. Disruption-wise, there's a lot. There's the Kashtira Fenrir. There's also the Caesar that you already know that has the 3 attributes required. We're gonna start off with the Wanted. Wanted is going to add Diabell Star, the Black Witch. Card advantage on Steven's side. Steven just shows up why he was the previous winner of YCS Indianapolis.
So pitches 1 Diabell Star to summon the other.
Okay.
It's an interesting hand. He goes ahead and grabs that Sinful Spoils. Now we'll see if Fenrir activates here.
A Fenrir can only hit face-up card. I mean, you have to send the Black Witch because you can't really send away a Pendulum card that does not hit the graveyard.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, what if he goes ahead and
Just gets rid of
banishes
it
here, and there's nothing that you can send in that case.
Or back to the Jet Synchron. Let's see if Alex can push this any further than the previous game. I mean, I would love to see what this deck has to offer. Wanted effect in the graveyard, put the original to the bottom of the deck and draw an additional card. I mean, that card is so good.
And it gets him up to, what, 3 cards in hand here? Yeah, looks like 3. Hasn't normal summoned yet.
I see an Armageddon Knight available, but...
That's the Horus field spell.
Correct. That is the Walls of the Imperial Tomb.
There, he got his own point.
So that
All right,
counts
so
as...
that counts as King's Sarcophagus.
That's right.
That is fine.
Effective walls of the
The Walls of the Imperial Tomb is going to allow you to add a Horus monster into your hand, but you're going to have to also discard a card. It's not as free as most of the other cards in the
No.
review.
No, but it's nice having that secondary way to get, or just having a way to get Imseti.
What was the card that he discarded?
Armageddon
Oh,
Knight.
no, not discard. Is it discard or put back to the deck? I believe you have to put back to the
Oh,
deck.
sorry, my bad. You're right. Oh. Is that good?
Yeah, that's going to be resulting in a procedural error minor because you did not fully resolve your effect.
Yes, you have to exchange cards out. You don't just get them for free.
And he's going to follow up in getting into the actual King Sarcophagus. There's a lot of sarcophagus these days.
Just a few. Just a few. It's a little odd having, the King Sarcophagus and then 2 sets later a Shining Sarcophagus.
Special summon Imseti.
We're going to special summon Imseti because we do have a King Sark on the field, which would be the field spell.
Activate King Sark.
Activate King Sark.
Activate King Sark.
And King Sark is going to discard the Happy into the graveyard. That's going to be another monster that can be used as a follow-up. However, we're going to disrupt here. No, he's passing on that. He's going to continue on.
Yeah, he's holding off on the Dust Devil.
And he's going to put another copy of Imseti. He does not play
Because
very
right
many
now-
copies. It's only Happy and Imsetis as the Horus monsters.
So, like, these 2 cards don't really amount to a whole lot. That's, 9 levels worth of synchro material. But if you get him with 1 more Horus monster on the field...
That's right, yeah.
I mean, we could see Giant Trainer,
Thinking on something.
Coach King.
All right, so now he's going to summon the second one, the Happy. And you see Santoli's thinking here.
Reveal 3.
And here's when he goes ahead and uses the Snow
Caesar
Devil.
pop.
And he's also chaining Caesar's effect to
Gain instance
reveal.
target. Okay. What are you popping?
Caesar will pop this.
Okay.
Caesar is going to destroy the
and,
King's Arc.
So I'm able to I can choose special one from hand, which I will. I'll special.
And we're going to get the rest of the effect of Snow Devil. Coming out with Raisin.
Everything that's not Vanquish will get destroyed.
Everything is not a Vanquish, so they get destroyed. However, aren't Horus monsters...
And it
Oh
was,
no, but they lost the they
no,
lost their
Raven.
field spell. Oh, not field spell, the King's Arc.
Vector search.
Yep.
Very clean
Sorry,
ways to clean off the
yeah,
field.
It doesn't include spells and traps.
Just
The entire field has been cleared off. Very unfortunate. This whole game has been basically the tempo got shifted by dimension shifting.
Nuts. Go for Jin.
Yep.
Oh,
Order drops.
I mean, this would be attacking for game,
Yes.
and he just went for it. There we have it.